Welcome back to Big Girl Hunters. You join me down on my local syndicate here in Ringwood in Hampshire. I'm up on the watchtower. It's still early in the year, we're in February, and I'm just out here after work having a look round, looking to introduce a bit of bait, just a few little bits here and there, and see if I can find the fish. I've got my first session coming up this weekend of the year on here. Got a couple of nights, so I've been doing a few walks this week trying to locate some fish. I have seen a few fish, not on this occasion, but I'm up here having a little look, and it's real good fun up here on this watchtower. It's pretty sketchy, but good times. And what I'm going to do today is I've got my Deeper Pro with me and my spod rod, which is down there, and I'm just going to have an investigate. I've got a lead with me as well, and a spawn and some bait, but I'm going to investigate some areas potentially for this weekend, maybe introduce a little bit of bait and get ahead of the game really. I imagine it's going to be busy this spring, got a few new members, it's quite a busy syndicate anyway, so hopefully I'm going to keep looking on and hopefully find some fish. Well, good morning. As you can see, I'm looking pretty tired. I've been awake since 4 o'clock this morning, and unfortunately not too much has happened. Like I say, I always set my alarm pretty early. This time I just woke up naturally about 10 to 4, put the kettle on and got up, put my snug pack on, 'cause it's a bit cold, and got up, and I always have a walk around and spend the first sort of 2-3 hours just looking where I can still get to my rods and look to see if I see any fish. The only thing I did see was about 20 yards out, right in the middle of my swim, same distance as my left hand rod but towards my right hand rod, something rolled. I didn't actually see what it was, so it could have been a tench, but it didn't. There is a lot of tension here, and they normally slap, and when they roll you can normally see them, so it was enough for me to reel in the right hand rod to see what I can find, to sort of walk up and down to all the vantage points near me and just smack a single on it, and that was about an hour ago and nothing's happened, so that's something to obviously take note of going forward. It was really windy last night. As the night sort of progressed into early morning, it sort of died down, and then I started getting a few liners, and unfortunately nothing happened. I predict that it was probably tench, or even maybe the pike sort of thinking through. My left hand rod, which is down there in the margin, hasn't done anything. It's sort of stayed silent. I've checked up on it, but there's still time, and there's everything to play for. So there's not a huge amount of bait out there, so if anything does come along, hopefully that hook bait will get picked up fairly quick. Like I say, I've got pretty much high tracks on these two rods out in the main area, and just the bottom bait down in the margin, and with a bit of crumb over it, so anything can happen. Unfortunately nothing else happened, so I packed it up a little bit earlier than expected to head home for a warm cup of tea and some dinner, as my stove unexpectedly broken. I was going to be back in a few weeks to attack these carp, and hopefully by that point the weather would warm up and the carp would be out and about a little bit more. Well, good morning. You join me on the watchtower here at my syndicate Roach Pit in Hampshire, and we're now right in the end of March. I'm heading on to April this weekend. And as you can see, the sun's out, so spring is fully here. I'm fishing, it's swim just down to the left here. As when I arrived, I saw some fish just on this corner while I was up in this watchtower. So I've seen a few fish yesterday and a few fish this morning as well, sort of milling around. One fish was caught just opposite from me here where I am now. Another one of the members caught this lovely fish. So I'm here for a couple of nights. It's that time of year where they do start moving around. It's not fishing really well. It's sort of hasn't done a fish for a few weeks until that one early this morning, and it's sort of doing maybe one a week prior to that. So fishing is still tight, but like you say, they're certainly getting about, and I'm sure they're on the naturals. So it's just a case of setting little traps and hopefully getting on them. There's certainly a few fish around in this area. It always does tend to hold fish, but particularly this time of year when the sun comes out, you always see them cruising around on this bend. So I've got a little trap set there and trap set out a bit further on to the left, out in a similar sort of distance, because they've been coming quite close in. So that's me. I will keep you updated, and hopefully we can bag one of these beautiful ringwood carp. Some absolute stunners in here. I just cannot wait to catch another. It's been a year or so since I've caught one out of here, so didn't fish it much last year. I only ended up doing about 6-7 nights, so it wasn't really my I sort of started doing other things, but Going to focus on it this spring, and hopefully we can bag one. Quick update, it's now Saturday afternoon. I've just got the rods out. I'm going to have a bit of a social and a barbecue later. In the meantime, I'll just talk you through how I got my rods out, or what I did. So I found a new spot this afternoon where I saw some fish showing this morning. It's much firmer. Like, I fished all of my rods in close because I saw some fish coming round, in sort of swooping round close in yesterday. So I had them all in. It made sense. High pressure. I got them in the shallowest spots I could find, basically, because you're not allowed zigs on here. Otherwise, I'd have had 3 zigs out last night with this high pressure. So basically, I found this really nice firm spot. I didn't want to let it around too much yesterday, but I found this really nice and firmer spot. There's a little bit of weed around, but it's much cleaner. It hasn't got the big bits of Canadian. So I've got the marker out. Add a little check over the deeper as well, just to check the depths. It's nice. It's a little bit shallower as well. You're looking at like 11.5 foot. Perfect. I then went out on the boat and put a bit of bait out. Obviously, we're still in early spring, really. So I only put 4 handfuls, no more than 3 or 4 spoms worth. Come back to shore, rods already clipped up, cast them out one either side of the marker float, pretty tight, marker float in, and boom, we're ready for the night ahead. Really buzzing, cannot wait to see what the night brings. Got a bit of a social later with some barbecue and a few beers, watch the football. Hopefully I can get one out for you. So let's just talk bait quickly, and this is the mix I'm putting out there. Right, a little mix. As you can see, it's predominantly pellet, and the fish in this lake, there's quite a few stockfish which have sort of been reared on pellet. So I've got some Escort pellets, some Coppin pellets, a little bit of sweet corn, a few tiger nuts, some Escort boilies, and a tiny bit of particle in there as well. And that's the mix there. As you can see, all sorts of goodness. So I've only been putting sort of 3-4 handfuls over each spot, putting out on the boat. Just quicker than, I would say it's no more than 5 spoms worth, really. So this time of year, that's all you really need for a bite. You just whizzing around like.
Ooh, is that nice? Is that nice, is it? Ooh.
So what's going on then? Where are you at? What are you doing?
I'm on the point down Longham.
On the point? You loved the point, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, they're all down this the close end to the car park showing.
If they're showing, mate, just get the zigs straight on them, mate. When they are cleaning their gills, though, you can still bag them. Get the little yellow bits of foam, 1 black, 1 yellow, 1 orange. Smash them out there, son.
That's what I've got.
How's the new rods then?
I haven't used them yet. I'm setting them up now.
I bet you're excited, didn't you?
They feel good though. Like just some like. It's still nice. See what I mean? My other ones are so soft. You just feel they got a bit of backbone to them.
Bit like you then, soft, with no backbone.
How's your film trip going?
I've seen lots of fish everywhere. They're moving around. Like I say, I've seen them in a snag which I've never seen them in before. I watched the UFC last night, so I was up to about 3 and I didn't hear much, and then apparently a couple show around 5, and I woke up about 6:30, which is pretty late for me to be honest. But I feel ropey as fuck.
You must do.
Knackered, to be honest, but yeah, so I haven't even had a tench, but I feel like in previous springs I baited way too heavy, because it's what, like, a lot of I got caught into the trap of following suit, so I've only been putting like 3 handfuls over a rod, like probably less than 4 spoms worth, you know, just enough for a bite, really. So like I say, that it did that one fish yesterday, that nice Lynn. 3 up, 3 down, it's called.
Nice.
Well, nice fish. I think it's the first time it's been caught since putting here.
That's what it's called, is it?
Mhm. 3 up, 3 down.
What do you catch it on?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't ask people what you've been caught catching on, mate. You know, if I'm, is that I'm not like you, Greener. Straight for the jugular.
Inside knowledge, mate.
Inside knowledge. He's gone from going, oh, I don't like using zigs, Billy, yeah, to now he's like, what? Oh, what's your method of using Jack? Zig.
Exactly.
Get the zigs out for all the lads.
Then, you proved me wrong, sir. You proved me wrong. How long are you going to be fishing there for then?
I'm going to do tonight as well.
Are you?
Yeah. I've seen them, like some of the ones that we've seen they're all clayed up, they've got leeches, and they're just starting to sort of...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Having a little clean up, aren't they?
Yeah, we're having a little bivvy clean up.
Little spring clean. I've just seen a fish roll in the shallows.
What are you laughing for? Bream rolling, mate.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, there's thousands of coots on here.
You need to get one of them coot lights, mate. A few of the boys have got them around here. I need to get one. They just blast them off the spot, mate. Proper freaks them out. It's well good.
Yeah, but they'll soon learn.
Most probably. Anyway, I'm going to shoot off.
Yeah, me too. All right, I'll catch you in a bit.
Yeah, well, good luck, mate. Have a good one. Tight lines.
Bye-bye.
Well, I don't know really what else to say, but I've just fallen in the lake, completely all the way up to here. I think my session might be coming short to an end because I've got some spare socks and I've got spare trackies. So not only is my Vass waders, my brand new Vass waders, got 2 holes in either side, I got soaked. I've now fallen in the lake. I've never fallen in the lake before in all my years fishing until now. I was messing around with my alarms, trying to swap my pod around, and yeah, this is what I get. Bollocks. And it's a bloody northeasterly wind coming in my face and it's absolutely freezing. Oh man, what a piss take. It's just been one of them sessions. So option A, phone up friends, get them to bring new clothes down. Option B, fuck off, go home, have a bath and enjoy the rest of my my weekend. What should I choose, A or B? At the minute, I think option B is looking more and more favourable by the minute. Fucking hell. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Well, all the time I've spent by a lake, you're bound to fall in it eventually. Just why when I was planning on doing an extra night is what oh, down to the boxes, soaked. Oh, for God's sake. Lucky I didn't have my phone or anything, microphone or anything in my pocket, otherwise I really would have been fucked then, wouldn't I? Could have been a whole lot worse actually.
Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.
We're falling in the lake and I haven't got enough clothes. I'm really cold. I've only got this jumper on and this northeasterly wind has picked up. I was going to move round off the back of the wind, but I spent an hour or so looking around the lake and I just couldn't find any fish or any spots in it. I just didn't want to move for moving's sake, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to stick it out, I'm going to stay here and fish my spots, but it's just not looking the one. So once the football finishes, I will be heading on and I'll be back shortly. So it's like I say, it's not looking good really, but you never know, you might have a chance. With everything that's gone wrong in this session, me falling in the lake, my waders, and it's just been one of those sessions. I haven't seen anything, and since yesterday I haven't seen anything all day really. It's been a bit of a nightmare for me this today. So fortunately I've been beaten once more. And like I say, this little spring campaign's just beginning, and I'll be back next week, and hopefully we can get one on the bank.